You know, I was really hoping for about a $250,000 profit on this trade, which would have been my biggest single trade ever. Problem is, altcoins are volatile as shit, and I got stopped out. But I still made $100,000, which I certainly cannot complain about. In addition to that, a bunch of students in the Krypton group, as well as the Wolfpack Discord alerts group, also made bank. So what are we complaining about here? Nothing. All we're trying to do here is make some money, and we just made a shitload of money on Ondo. So let's take a look at the chart and figure out exactly how we did it. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's get into this. But first and foremost, let's get a 10% like to follow ratio. So below, I think we have like 7,200 followers on this account. So we need 720 likes to celebrate this big W for everyone who was involved. So let's take a look at Ondo and see exactly what happened here. Now, when I first sent out the alert to this alert on Ondo, this was 25 days ago. You can see the chart here. Let's just
moving into CPI.
Right. Moving into CPI. Price is 84 cents. And I'm looking for this to pump
for the CPI
upwards of 150.
And then boom.
But later, after this chart continued to form up, we came back up and retested those previous highs, which now made it a potential kryptonite breakout pattern. Okay. Which now gives us an even higher extended profit target of maybe upwards of $2 per coin, of which it still definitely can potentially reach up there. Now, my initial profit target was about 150, 160, of which we basically nailed, and I did stop out for a pretty sizable gain. But we can see what I'm talking about here, about my prediction of what could happen.
This level. And then come back down, and then the trend continues and we retest support here. That's going to be a kryptonite breakout pattern, of which I would even potentially consider adding still underneath this level if we saw a consolidation breakout formation to then break out above the highs here at about $1. And
yes,
send this, easy to 150, potentially up to $2 per coin.
Yes.
So that's what I'm looking at right now on.
All right. So every trade alert I send out in Discord also comes with a video explanation of that, and we can see exactly what happened here. Price did come up, retest that high, came back and consolidated, and then broke out here. And that was the kryptonite breakout, which led to, not a massive gain, but, $1 to $1.48. 50% runner there. That happened very, very quickly that we could take advantage of. Then all of a sudden this weekend, all the alts just dumped. Now, Ondo held up a lot better than most. Ondo dropped like 10, 15% in a matter of minutes, while a lot of the other altcoins dropped, upwards of 20 to 30% in a matter of minutes. And this is becoming an increasing problem across the board in altcoins because the liquidity is dried up and a lot of people are using very high leverage on both sides, of which can result in these massive kind of panic sell-offs that are occurring, which does make it pretty hard to swing trade over the last year. Now, the previous bull run, this didn't happen as much, but we're seeing a lot of fear across the board. I think the most part is just fear. People are just looking to get their money back quick, and so they're over leveraging. And once these little panic sell-offs happen, it creates these big sell-offs. Now, the chart isn't fully broken here on Ondo, but what I was hoping for was that we held above this previous high here, and my stop was at about 128. And you can see as soon as this broke down below that level, that was when we saw just the massive dump intraday. Like, just those are all stops being taken out. Also mine, I probably contributed to this big dump sell-off. But I sleep during U.S. market hours, and I cannot go to sleep without a stop in place. I've been burnt way too many times just being like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just not use a stop and see what happens. And you end up losing way more in the long run, despite getting stopped out in positions like I just did, even though I locked in a $100,000 profit. In my experience of trading for the last 20 years, the idea of not using hard stops for swing trading, especially when the market can be open while you're sleeping in crypto, has never, ever been a good idea. Sure, sometimes those spikes come down and then come back up and you're like, oh, thank God I didn't have a fucking stop in place. But the times that you don't have a stop in place and it doesn't bounce, you run the risk of losing everything. And I have absolutely zero desire to put myself in a position where I could lose everything. And that's why 98% of traders fail, because they all put themselves in positions of potentially losing everything. So unfortunately, there's no solid answer to this as of right now. I don't have a solution other than you got to lock in fucking profits when you have them. Okay. for the last year or two straight, I'd have so much more fucking profits if I stopped being greedy going for the big win and just locked in my 10 to 15% gain and walked away with a huge fucking juicy gain instead of trying to go for that 10x fucking gain that never fucking comes at the right time. All right, because timing those big ones is very difficult. But we just locked in 100K. So basically, as soon as that broke out, we saw the first initial push up, then we saw the actual flag formation here, bullish flag, then the continuation of the bullish flag into the 150 initial target that we had talked about in the actual previous video analysis. That was the profit target up there, about 148. Locked in gains along the way up, and then after selling up here in the 140s and locking in some insured gains, I then placed my stop 128. If this started breaking down below this flag, I didn't want to see this just turn into a reversal comeback all the way down, because at this point, after getting in at 84 cents initially, then continually adding in this consolidation zone, my average entry was about 97. And it's not out of the question for this to drop all the way back to 97 cents and me going from a 150K open profit back to fucking zero, okay? I don't want to do that. I've seen that happen way too many times. I need to ensure that I lock in gains. Now, my intention was to sell upwards of 170. That was going to be like my full exit plan. I would have made $250,000 if I would have sold at 170. But unfortunately, we got this liquidation. My stop was triggered, and that big dream come true trade was no longer a dream, and I locked in 100K profit. So as of right now, this is still riding degenerate trend. So overall, it's still looking bullish. It could definitely consolidate right here. And I do think we could have a secondary run. Okay. I could potentially trade it, but obviously the risk reward is a little bit less. But if we break out above this bullish flag, I think that could be the move to 170 to $2 per coin that I was initially looking for. Unfortunately, the volatility got the best of me, and I did stop out of this trade. I was also a little bit heavier in this position, which reduced my ability to have a little bit more wiggle room, which just is part of the game when you size up on a position. But a breakout here above this area, this descending trend, and a hold of degenerate trend support, this could easily then break out this high at about 150. First initial target is probably going to be about 20 cents above their 170. Then the next hold number target at about $2 per coin. Now, if Bitcoin can stop being a little bitch and actually break out above 72 to 73K, that move is definitely likely on the table for Ondo. But who knows if that's going to happen, right? We're still pre-breakout, and it continually has a very difficult time breaking out above this level. But the more times we tap this level on Bitcoin, the higher probability that that could potentially happen, okay? So as far as Ondo goes, the reality is this was a picture-perfect trade. Forced pattern breakout, huge lead-in trend to the upside. Boom. Boom, flat top, retest support or retest resistance. Now we have two tops. Secondary pullback. Now we can draw the ascending trend line. Third test. And then on the fourth was the actual breakout. So for me, when I'm trading this pattern, one, there's 2 points of entry that we really like to get into. One is the third test of a support level, which is why we alerted down here at about 84 cents. After we got that big bounce, that was kind of giving, okay, confirmation that this support is legit. Now we have a clear area to get out of this position on a stop level if that low is taken out, okay? Big bounce of support with strength. Now we know, okay, we have a clear bottom indication with buying pressure. Now we could say, okay, if it doesn't hold up above this big low there and that strength off that support, we can exit this position, say, fuck it, this is no longer looking good anymore, stop out. So that gave us a clear chart pattern to potentially get into. And the first initial breakout there was the actual breakout above this descending symmetrical triangle prior to this pattern even forming up, right? If we look at the chart here, as we were buying into this breakout here, potentially of that descending trend, then I was anticipating it retesting that level and then forming up the actual breakout here at about $1 per coin, which is also very significant because it's a whole number resistance level right at $1 per coin. From there, we rode degenerate trend up, locked in gains along the way, upwards near that 150 initial target, then set a stop. As we increased our profits, I let my stop ride up with me, and then I locked in my gain fully 100K. And now it's just consolidating. Who knows what's going to happen? Could easily dump all the way back down to my entry price, especially if Ethereum does actually pull back. But if we get confirmation of a breakout above this bull flag, that would be the signal. Okay, maybe I'll re-enter. Or if you're still long in this position, you can actually grind this up into 170 to $2 per coin. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is, did you make any money? And you can't make money unless you fucking sell and lock in some gains. And that's exactly what I did. I took 100K profit. So fuck shit. Wasn't my biggest trade ever, but what can I say? 100K profit. Okay, here's me talking about, okay, I got full risk 2% here on auto pre-breakout, everyone. That was when we were still under $1 per coin. Just going to go through some of these actual charts so you can see. Screenshots. There's the initial alert, 84 cents, stop on 74-cent breakdown, sell grid up to 150, which basically just means I'm going to take profits along the way up to 150, adding 2% to the risk. What else we got here? We got some screenshots of the actual profits. Here's the other 50% I had left in there. Thanks, Fous, 438% gain on Ondo. Mondovian, nearly $15,000 profit on Ondo. There's me locking in my profit. Average entry, 97 cents. Average exit, 127, 100K profit. 561% on Ondo for Mondovian there. Again, 983% profit there on Padre. You can see also below that, Kozlowski, 564% gain on Ondo. Locked in 50%, Dinosaur Bones, 554%. 528%. You can see all these guys. Entry price, current price, 144 on BitGet. iSuperior, 1,200%. Pi, 590%. Wow, impressive. I was in that. Brave, 102%. So you can see just these are all people inside of the Discord group, which is over here. You know, you can definitely get in here, but I want to read something that I wrote to a lot of people in the Discord group today. That's very important and a good lesson for any of you who wants to join the group. Now, I suggest over anything, educate yourself, which I do have in my courses. But this is what I said. I said, just a reminder to everyone trying to copycat my trades. I urge you to learn the strategy and make your own trade decisions. By that, go learn anybody's strategy. That's not me just shamelessly selling my course, which I have a fucking course. I've made millions of dollars selling my courses. Sorry about that, but not sorry. But I've also made millions of dollars trading, which allowed me to make millions of dollars selling the course. So if you don't want to buy my course, I don't fucking care. Go buy somebody else's course, or at least learn from someone, okay? But I continue and I digress, and let's continue. What I said was, I urge you to learn the strategy and make your own trade decisions. 4, if you try to copy my stop levels, as a group, we collectively become a target for stop hunting, especially when there's liquidity issues in these altcoins. Because a lot of people try to copycat my trades, and then they see where I'm looking at a stop level. They're like, oh, I'm going to put my stop level too. What happens there? There becomes a big fucking block of orders with stops in place. You know what that is? It's a fucking target for stop hunting and market makers to come fuck us all over. That's why I don't want people following my alerts, because the liquidity on some of these altcoins is so dry that can create the things that we saw, the liquidity events where everything tanks. Now, if you're in Bitcoin or something super liquid, or you're trading Forex or even more liquid stocks, that's less of a problem, right? Because the liquidity is there, and my trade size and everybody else's trade size is insignificant compared to institutions who are also trading those coins. But with some altcoins, it can become a problem. Continuing, as always, I want you to win, but these are also my personal trades. It doesn't help any of us to have our stops in the same zone as a group. I'll be running a discount soon on the Krypton course for those who haven't gone through them. I know most of you only don't care about learning and just want hot trade alerts, but that's unfortunately not how any of you or us will make money long term. I'm here to help, and my alerts can certainly make you money for me and you. But the most important thing any of you can do is educate and not rely on someone else for your decisions in trading. Alerts should always be used as a guide, education, illustration, reminder of important trading lessons, and continuation of educational mentorship, etc., but never your full reliance and plan for profiting. So, with that said, you should join the Wolfpack Discord group so you can try to copycat my trades and make money by seeing exactly what I'm doing. There's going to be a link below so you can make some bank. But the reality is, a lot of people sign up thinking they're just going to copycat trades. I've been doing this for 20 years. I tried to copycat a fuckload of traders. It never worked by just trying to copycat someone. Unless you understand why they're doing what they're doing, it's best used for education. And if you go through potentially their course and have a full understanding of what and why they're doing, then it makes a lot more sense to try to copycat their trades because you understand, so you can make your own trade decisions and adjust accordingly as they go. The other problem with trade alerts is, let's say my win rate is 60%, but you're only following, 2 of every 10 alerts I send out. That could easily be just 2 of the losers of the 60%, right? So in order to copycat someone, you literally have to trade every single trade with the same exact position size, same exact risk management at the exact same time to try to copycat them, which simply is impossible, okay? So the important thing here to know is that you have to become a self-sustaining trader. Trade alerts like my Discord group can be extremely beneficial for continued education and watching how the system or any system is being implemented, right? But to rely fully on it it's just simply not going to work. Listen, I've tried it with other people that I see trading over the years. I haven't tried it in years, but when I see someone else doing well, and sometimes I'm going through a lull, I'm like, what if I could just copy their trades? Nope, it just ends up in losses. So you have to use it as a guide. But anyways, those are just some lessons I wanted to throw in here, along with this amazing trade that we just banked on Ondo. And we'll see how everything else goes. Not a bad trade. I can't complain. 6-figure trade. Could have been my biggest trade ever. But it's people who get so greedy that fantasize about the big win. They never are able to lock in what they currently have now and are never satisfied. And those are the people who never make money in this game ever. And they don't use stops. And they let a winning position go into a losing position. And then it goes into a bigger losing position. And so they have nothing. Okay. So with that said, like, comment, subscribe, Discord, courses, links below for both of those. And of course, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.